You have your corporates, you have your startups, you have your educational institutions. But how do ideas flow in between them? How do they connect? Creating that connecting tissue is very critically important. My name is Stas Gayshan. I'm from the Cambridge Innovation Center. The reason we are here in this particular room right now is to talk about two subjects that are very near and dear to my heart. One is building innovation communities, and the second is the Boston innovation ecosystem. So I'm a managing director at the Cambridge Innovation Center, and what you should know about CIC is our job in the world is to build innovation communities. And we do this because we are trying to create a supportive ecosystem for impactful entrepreneurs to fix the world. We think the world is broken, we think the world needs to be fixed, and we think it's only entrepreneurs who are able to do it. So our goal is to give as much capacity and as many tools to those entrepreneurs to make the world a better place. So I'm really excited to look at the innovation ecosystem here. We really think that innovation is driven by the entrepreneur. So we think that the entrepreneur is an amazing, super crazy person who is able to do things that other people can't do. And that concentrating these impactful entrepreneurs in a single physical place, we think that something magical happens when you put people together physically. Looking for a second at the data, and I think there's a very, very interesting bit. So this data comes from Harvard Business School and the US Commerce Department. They have analyzed clusters and thinking about how do cities perform. And if you look at the clusters in Boston, the biggest three clusters are business services. So this is consulting and work created to promoting business, education and knowledge creation. And for all those companies, they're either headquartered in Boston, or they've headquartered their research in Boston, or they've moved their most significant research divisions into Boston. So when you look at these kind of institutions, they play a connection role, and this is a really critical point. We're building an innovation ecosystem. You have your corporates, you have your startups, you have your educational institutions. But how do ideas flow in between them? How do they connect? Creating that connecting tissue is very critically important, and these institutions play a very significant role in cross-fertilizing innovation. What this should tell you about Boston, and I'll say this in closing, is in addition to being a large-scale ecosystem, we are also a place where it's very easy to connect lots of efforts for people who want to work with you, who want to make the world. That's Boston in a nutshell. I want to talk to you about what is really my favorite topic of all. What it is that we need as people and how we relate to one another in this world. What makes humans the powerful species that was able to take over the world is our ability to do three things. Number one, it is to work together flexibly with unrelated individuals. It's just these three. Work together flexibly with unrelated individuals. This is something that only we can do. We have to collaborate flexibly across groups of unrelated individuals and make the world a better place because we're the only people who can. So let's do it together. We really think about ourselves as the petri dish on which innovation grows. So our goal is to create the environment and then to create the community. What differentiates Boston from other ecosystems? I think one of the funny things with Boston is it's been around for a long time, and it's an incredibly collaborative ecosystem. It's small enough that many of us know one another and we like one another. And that generates what I call no asshole policy. So the thing is about when you're in a small ecosystem is when somebody misbehaves, they get shut out. And so what we're able to do is we're able to use our close networks and connections to make sure that people generally behave well towards one another. Because if I find out that somebody is not a good person to work with, then I'm not going to work with them, and neither will anyone who works with me, and then neither will anyone who works with them. And then very quickly, the incentives are structured such that people act well and act nobly towards one another. And that high level of interconnectedness is very, very useful. We're all just one step away from one another. And what it means is when you're building your company, it's very easy to get to just about anybody you talk to and get advice from anybody you need to get advice from. So that's been very, very, very helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.